Let's go on to the movers and the levels for the day.
Okay, pre-market movers then. Sprint Corporation, ticker S in the States, $4.20, up $7.97. Now, we've talked about this in the past. It's one of America's bigger telecom operators, but it is struggling and burning cash. It's owned pretty much outright by Japanese company SoftBank, and yesterday they added to their holding, spent another $87 million buying stock and took their stake to 80%. It's about a 1% rise.
Averaging down.
Yeah, I guess what the market's seen is they're up, nearly 8%. They're taking that as a vote of confidence from SoftBank. Interestingly, though, they said they weren't looking to sell out, which well, I think there'd also been quite a few people hoping that there could be a deal done with Sprint Corp, saying perhaps T-Mobile. Anyway, for the moment, the market likes what it sees. Prefers to go with the vote of confidence idea, and that's why the stock's higher. And then Cisco Systems, once the darling of the internet sector, but often overlooked these days, but ticker CSCO provides all the routing and backbone infrastructure for much of the internet. They've got a new CEO, and he gave his debut numbers last night. Not really much of his work, I don't think, but he's just inherited this. They beat on earnings per share, delivering 59 cents versus 56 cents. That was forecast, and revenues came in at 1.8 billion versus 1.265 billion that was forecast. So the guidance was that was offered, which is rare for Cisco to offer any guidance, was in line with forecasts, and so the market said it was a little dull, but there was nothing kind of exceptional, no kitchen sinking as sometimes you get when a new CEO takes over. So they're up.
That's a big plus in a way.
Yeah, they're up almost 3.5%. And then in terms of levels to watch today, there are not too many changes. There's lots of volatility, but not too much outright change to the levels. As far as FTSE is concerned, we're looking at 65.70 on the downside, plays 66.63 on the upside. For the DAX, 11,055 now is the downside level, plays 11,162 to the upside. In the S&P, 2076 plays 2105. So despite that big range yesterday, we've not really changed our view there at all. And the Dow, an even wider range yesterday. I think it traded down over 250 points and then rallied to finish up on the day, and has posted something that's akin to a hammer in the candle chart. We'll see if that follows through. But 17,350 on the downside, plays 17,470 on the upside. So again, not much change to the range there, despite the volatility yesterday. In euro dollar, we're now looking at 111.05 on the downside, and we were testing to and briefly through there just before we came on air. Plays 111.36 to the upside. Aussie dollar, US dollar was very, very volatile overnight, but seems to have calmed down slightly. And again, there's not much, despite the volatility, there's not much differentiation from yesterday's levels. 73.21 now is the downside level, plays 73.64 on the upside. If anything, we've been able to slightly tighten the range there. Dollar yen is quite curious, given what's going on in the region there, but it remains relatively stable. 124.20 is the downside level. Still looking for it to try and take out 124.62, and beyond that 125.00. And cable, a little bit better on against the dollar, really, even dollar weakness more than cable strength, I think. So 156.00 is our downside level, plays 156.35 to the upside this afternoon.
Right, so China reverberations, but in the end we're sort of back where we were before the whole thing started.